actual live stream.
I think we're live. Yeah.
We did it.
We're
Look at
live.
us.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Masters of YouTube, Masters of the Universe of YouTube. So welcome. Thanks, everybody who's joining us today. I see a couple of people actually already on the live stream. So thank you for joining us. This time we're going to try and make it a little bit more interactive. You guys know this live stream happens every first Thursday of every month. So today's the first Thursday of March. And next time, Heather is going to be hosting. You're next, right? That's you. Yeah, Heather is going to be hosting next the first Thursday in April at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So,
yeah, let's say if you are watching us live, you want to hit us up in the chat room of where you're watching from. That'd be actually pretty cool. And if you could hear us, that'd be actually cool as well.
That'd be good to know. Yeah.
So you just don't see mouths moving. And I don't know if there's a delay between us and actual live stream. So, but yeah, if you could hit us up in the comment section.
Delay. Yeah, there's like a 20-second delay, something like that.
Cool. Yeah, just hit us up in the chat room, and then just tell us, where you're actually watching from. That'd be pretty cool. So, yes, we discussed in the background noise that we're going to talk about our own personal goals. Is that what we're actually going, or are we introducing ourselves at the moment?
I think, yes, let's introduce ourselves because we might have people who are new to the live stream. So
right on. Cool. Yeah.
You go first.
Hello, I'm Brian from Lots of Runs. Wow, so weird. I'm the ultra runner, I guess, of the group. I like 100Ks and 100 milers, and I do a lot of stuff for suicide prevention. And I have my own YouTube channel and social media stuff. So if you haven't checked me out, that'd be super awesome. I do a little bit of motivational fitness, diving into the podcast realm as well. So mainly do it to hold myself accountable and show friends and family what cool, crazy things I do. So that's me in a nutshell.
You can go next, Heather. We can go, clockwise.
Well, I'm Heather, and my channel is RunningGeekGirl, and I kind of like the 10K to half marathon distance. That's kind of my favorite at the moment, but I am marathon training. And I do a lot of races and stuff like that that support, my favorite charity is St. Jude's Hospital, Children's Hospital, and any charity that has to do with depression and mental health and things like that. So that's me.
And now you're next, Paul.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. My name is Paul. I host the DevRunner channel on YouTube. And as far as my running goes, I've been running for about 10 years now, coming up on it. And I'm mostly a marathon runner. That's kind of my specialty. That's my sort of favorite distance. Though I have spent the last 6 months or so running shorter races, 5Ks and 10Ks, doing time trials and that kind of thing. And I'm currently in the middle of a training block for a half marathon time trial, where I'm going to be attempting to run it in 80 minutes or less, or actually 79 minutes or less if I get my way. And I've got my eye this fall, if races open up and we're not limited to just time trialing ourselves to the end of time, I'm going to be attempting to run a 2:45 marathon this October or November. We'll see. So,
wow.
That's where I'm at.
That's so wild. Okay.
That's so fast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I always aim just over the horizon and see if I can get there.
You have to challenge yourself, obviously. But that's crazy fast. I can't, it doesn't even compute. So, Susie, I run things. I have a channel, a YouTube channel. I have a podcast as well. And the second season of the podcast is coming up pretty soon. I am currently trying to accomplish a Boston qualifying time. I just ran a marathon on the treadmill on Saturday, and I live streamed that accomplishment. I PR'd by almost 20 minutes, and I am on my way to. I only have
That's awesome.
to get 50 minutes faster, which sounds like a crazy, but yeah. And I'm planning on running, if all goes well, a marathon in September. That's called Chasing the Unicorn Marathon, because a lot of people run. It's completely flat, and a lot of people run it to try and qualify for Boston. So that's my next goal. I have 6 months, and yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. And I just want to say, Susie, before we move on to the next topic, that I did watch a good chunk of your treadmill marathon when you were doing it. And that was just so inspiring. It was just awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I tried to keep up with you for about an hour, and I'm like, I don't see how she keeps up this pace for that long. I can't do that.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I could have done it if it wasn't because you guys were there, because I had so much support. People posting comments, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And then, Brian added a little bit of like humor to it when he said, "Are you going to stop the camera when you vomit?" I guess my face had that fear. I don't know.
No, that's the way I feel in races. So even if I have the camera or somebody recording somebody, that's just an awesome story. If somebody goes to throw up or something when we're running, they'll be like, "Quick, get the camera off, sir," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I got you covered." So
I have to say, I was
shame in what we do.
Oh, I was pretty close to. If they had told me I had to do like 20 feet more, I would have just said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm not putting." I was so exhausted. I laid down.
That's the best.
Ground. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's putting everything into it with no regrets. So that's the way it should be done, especially attacking a PR and a goal like that.
Oh Lord! And I've been like dragging for the past 3-4 days. I've been just like so tired. So
yeah, your body's in shock.
I gave it my all.
Running a marathon is hard, and running a marathon on a treadmill is even harder.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's something I'm going to try in the near future. Let's put it that way, because it's, you don't realize when you're running a marathon, just having people running with you, how much that distracts you. You're on a treadmill.
Yep.
And even though, I was reading comments and I was playing music, it was just so it's constantly on the same. There's no turns, there's no passing anybody, there's no drifting, there's nothing like that. It's just all in the same. So it's the same pounding, the same movement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the fact that there's no undulation because it's not a real road or it's not real terrain, your muscles don't get a break. It's that same exact pattern that just wears away at you.
How much of your training do you do on the treadmill, Susie?
I've been putting a lot of miles on the treadmill lately because it's been super, super cold and I've been working crazy hours. So when it's dark outside, that's the way that I was able to put the training. It was like, okay, I'm going to run at 6 a.m. or at 6 p.m. So yeah, no, I've been running a lot on the treadmill. So, but enough about me. Let's talk about, one of the things that we wanted to talk about is what our next goal is. And I know that Brian, he's our ultra trail runner, has a pretty cool goal right now. So why don't you talk about that? I think he's frozen.
Oh no!
He was having issues with wind and power outages where he is in Pennsylvania. So hopefully we can get him back. We're gonna go to Heather in the meantime, and we're gonna talk about Heather's goals. And for whoever's, I see there's people and they looking at, watching the live stream. If you guys want to post about your goals in the chat, we'll talk about those as well. We want to hear what you're training for. So
what I'm working on, other than marathon training, because that got pushed to November, I decided that I needed some kind of new goal to work on. And so I'm going to start a video series pretty soon where I'm working on a 5K time trial. which is a
Ooh,
big
nice.
deal for me because I
That's awesome.
hate speed workouts. I hate them so much. I did one today and I didn't like any of it, but that's what I'm going to have to do for the next 6 weeks or so. So that's
Now,
my
Heather,
my
let me
next
give you a
goal.
recommendation. Let me give you a recommendation. If you didn't do your speed work to this point, if you've never been to a track, try it on a track. It just turns it into a game. It suddenly becomes a lot of fun.
Okay.
So,
Yes,
anyway.
I concur. I had never been in a track before for my training till I started training last year with Garmin. I was using the Garmin training plan. It's one of those, off the shelf training plans. And I found that I run faster on a track just because like your butt, exactly when you're going to do the loop. So
Exactly. It
I
turns
always
into a big game.
yeah, I always do my 400 meters much faster on the track than if I'm just on the road. So
Well,
that's
my college that I went to is here in town, and they've got a really, really good track. So
Get there then. That's awesome. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to like run a 400-meter, loop, and then you catch your breath and say, I can beat that.
Yeah, and we have the Kilted Adventurer with us. He's saying greetings and salutations.
I'm sorry, I missed who was that. I'm not. My chat thing is not catching up.
Kilted Adventurer, hello.
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
Thank you for joining us. So if you want to post what your next goal is for your training for. Oh, Goku Runner, 50 miler. Very cool. Where's that 50 miler, Goku? Let us know.
I'm assuming if you want somewhere in Texas, maybe.
Well, it could be somewhere else. Some people are getting adventurous and getting on planes, and yeah. So talk about your 80-minute or 79-minute half marathon, Paul, and your marathon, because those are like impressive goals that you want to.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the marathon's a good ways off, so I'll talk a little bit about the half since it's coming up pretty quick. I am 4.5 weeks away. I set April 3rd as my goal date, which is a Saturday, and I'm going to attempt to run a half marathon in 79 minutes or less. I think the or less is completely dreaming if the 79 minutes itself is not a complete dream. But yeah, I set my half marathon PR in September of 2019. I ran a 122, and I ran the 122 like on no rest. It was like a warm-up race. Like, what do you call it? I guess a warm-up race for when I was in the middle of a training block for a marathon. So I ran the 122 on no rest at all. So that kind of leaves me with hope that if I get a little bit of a taper beforehand, maybe I can better that. So I thought sub 80 sounded like something that might catch people's attention on YouTube if they saw that on a thumbnail. So I thought, hey, that sounds like a good enough number. So we'll see. I mean, I hope everybody tunes in because each week I post my progress on my training and tell everybody, all the things that work and all the things that fail miserably, so they don't have to repeat my mistakes. And we'll know in 4.5 weeks if I've done enough. But
I think you're gonna get there because your training has been going fantastic. Like the paces that you talk about in your videos, I think. Well, I mean, there's other things when you're doing a time trial that influence, like the weather, like if it's extremely hot. I don't know, in North Carolina, September.
September. April is like, I'm scared that it's going to be a hot day, so I'm going to be out as close to dawn as possible just to avoid that.
Oh, for anyone wondering where Brian went, his system crashed and he's rebooting, so he'll be back.
Okay,
awesome.
Cool. We want him back. So, Kilted Adventure, maintenance phase on running. Hiking season is ending. Okay. Trying to lean up with weights. That's a good one. We should incorporate that question for, how if we do any strength training ourselves. But let me talk about my goals and how I'm planning on accomplishing. So my plan.
Goku Runner.
My plan is to start training with Hanson's I think it's May 10th. It's that Monday. So it's the first time I'm going to be training with Hanson's. I've been reviewing the plans and I think I can do it. I've thought about doing Hanson's in the past and I never had the courage because there's so much mileage that you have to put on your legs with this method. So
especially in the middle, there's like this huge jump.
Yeah, it's a lot of miles, but I've been putting 45, 50 miles the past 9-10 weeks. So not this week because I'm kind of recuperating from the marathon. But yeah, that's where I am. Until May, I am going to be doing a lot of speed training and just, maybe running right around those 40 miles, 40, 42 miles, and just trying to get a little bit of speed on my legs. Like short, like maybe do 200s or 400s, things like that. And then just in preparation for that, because Hanson has a lot of like kilometer repeats and like long tempos. And so it's going to get crazy pretty quickly. But potentially before May 10th, I wanted to see if there's any possibility of doing a half marathon locally. I don't know if there's going to be races open. There's nothing on the calendar right now where I live in Pennsylvania.
Nothing here either.
Yeah. But if not, maybe I could do a time trial or something so I can get some sort of an idea of what paces to hit during the training runs, because that's important. You have to nail that.
Do one that do sort of like to set your base, like to do one like now, just to see where you are. Like just go out and do a 13.1, and then that'll give you a pretty good idea. Because I was so happy listening to you say that you're gonna hit the track yourself, because like I said, up until 6 months ago, I did 0 track work in my entire life, and the only reason I was doing it was because of that 5K and 10K stuff that I was playing around with over the winter. And
we're gonna let Brian back in.
Oh, is he here? Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, he's here. Yes. Thank you.
I couldn't believe what a difference the track work makes.
Hi.
Very good.
He's back.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's back. And you actually
difficulties.
posted in the chat.
IG and everybody. Yeah, let me back in, please.
Yeah, I should have been checking this. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, difficult. I'm sure. I've been listening now. I was on the YouTube, and as it was rebooting on my phone, and then dropped right back in. So I heard everything. So I'm up to date.
And you're actually right on time, because I think Paul was wrapping up his goal.
Yeah, so. I was just saying how helpful speed work is, even for longer races. I think it's going to really help you out a lot, Susie.
Yeah, thank you for that. So now you're up, Brian. You didn't miss anything, because our goals kind of. So now you can talk about your ultra trail.
Well, I do want to piggyback and go back a second about the track workouts and stuff like that, which being a distance person, I don't do that much speed workout. This year I actually am, because I have a coach, and I see I know the value in running fast, because I've run marathons and half marathons, and like I'm respectable times and everything. So I understand the mentality behind that. But the speed workouts are invaluable. I could definitely see like a huge difference, because I'm working fast twitch muscles instead of my other type muscles, and getting the body used to like different stuff. So yeah, if you could get to a track, that'd be awesome. Running in circles is the new cool thing for like ultras and stuff like that. So I wanted, I'll jump into my goals, because I wanted to do 50 miles on a track this year. But I couldn't because of the COVID restrictions that are still going on. So I reached out to 2 local high schools, and there's a university that's like 10 miles from me. That's a big university. And I reached out to them, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds awesome." Because I will put a pin in this, and I'll come right back, because I'll set everything up. This season I'm doing things for suicide prevention. That's like my main goal. The last 2 years, I was doing something similar, and I raised close to $5,000 for the 2 years
Oh,
of just
wow.
running and getting people involved. So trying to make a difference. I know, Heather, that you deal with some crazies as well. I say crazies as a generic term, and I apologize if that offends anybody, but that's just my descriptive word. I I'm bipolar, depression, anxiety, the gambit of what a lot of runners actually have, and ultra runners and stuff like that. So I understand and empathize. Had some experiences with suicide stuff. So I'm dedicating all my running to that. And this year I want to double what I did within the 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm setting up my goals this year, my main goals, in a progressive manner. And in April, what I wanted to do was run 50 miles on a track, because that would be progression stage number 1, to run 50 miles. But that got nixed. So last year, if you check out my channel, I did a barn loop 50 miler, I called it. In my yard, I have a giant barn that's from like the 1800s, and all it does is house bats and pigeons right now. But it's I live in an old milk farm, so like there's some cool history behind it. It starts on a side road, and there's an exact 5-mile loop that I could do that goes through some back country roads, and it's about 500 feet of gain per loop, and it's 5 miles, like almost to the step, from my barn all the way around to my barn. So
country roads literally take you home.
Right? Yeah. I lived in city areas, like I lived back in the day in Alexandria, Virginia, during the sniper days. Like I lived 2 miles from some of the shootings that were there, and military. I lived in like Philly area, so I lived in city land, and my wife and I thought about moving to like New York or somewhere. This is way before kids. And then we decided to move to country land, and best decision ever, because running, I don't know. I don't know if I could run through cities as much as I would in the country, because I always see the sites are just, they make it worthwhile. So, and it's very therapeutic, and I take a million photos, and that's like really good for taking videos and whatnot as well. So I'd like to stay local. If I could do 5-mile loop 10 times, I could have my barn as an aid station. So then I could set up a nutrition plan. I could set up an aid station plan. I have a restroom if need be, because it's right at my house, and it's close enough to where if I get injured or something happens, I could call my wife and I back up. But the main thing is I could work out numbers, the number game. So if it's 500 feet of gain times 10, there's 5,000 feet of gain. And then you have each loop that you could break down on average what you'll be doing per loop. Then you can break down your nutrition of how many calories, and then have a surplus of, I like fruit and stuff like that. So like I'll have cantaloupes, watermelon, and things. And then I could break down the calories, refill, I'll carry, as if I'm in a regular ultra, my hydration pack. So I'll refill my hydration pack with probably some Noon. I've been using that now, and I think that's pretty cool. I have Gatorade as backup, and I'll have tons of water if I just need to go with regular liquids. And then I could monitor my aid station stays. So the biggest things in ultras is you get comfortable on an aid station, and 10 minutes at an aid station times
It adds
20.
up.
Yeah, so I can monitor that stuff. I could keep extra gear there as well, if weather, whatever. So then last year I did that. The weather was like windy and rainy in the beginning, and then it got nice like one of the last loop or two. But I want to do the same exact thing, basically. Long story short, couldn't do track 50 miles because I want to do something like crazy and run 200 laps, which I thought would be pretty mind-boggling to the average person. But now I'm going to do 10 5-mile loops at 500 feet of gain per loop, and that will be goal number one in a progression. So, and then June, the first week of June, I signed up for an actual race, and it's a World's End 100K.
Right.
It's part of the Triple Crown series for Pennsylvania, which is like a big to do. It starts out Heiner 50K, World's End 100K, and then Eastern States 100 miler. If you do all three of them in the same year, you're a legend. So they have the race directors are incredible. They get handmade awards every year if you complete the Triple Crown, like wooden axes that are handmade, and like some crazy stuff that they do. So World's End, which is less than an hour away from me, is like church. When I go there, that's when everything balances for me. Like when I go out on the trails there, right now I have a good setup to where almost every other week I'm making it to the trail and doing probably about 12 to 20 miles with about 2,000 4,000 feet of gain. And but when I'm there, it's Lord of the Rings. It's magical. I'm actually up on vistas looking over canyons and running where deer run, climbing up giant boulders. Like it's hard to explain to a non-runner the magical feeling and the freedom that you get when you're doing that. So I try to make it to the World's End trail area as much as possible. And then from that 100K, I have every year, I do every year, the last 2 years, I've been doing a suicide prevention run. And it started out as a 24-hour looped course. I don't know, loops drive me insane and they're torturous. So that's why I wanted
so you're
to.
doing more of them.
Run 5 of them around your house.
Right. Well, I had friends that have done a couple looped like 24-hour runs and stuff like that, and I always made fun of them because it sounds very painful. Like not physically. Physically, you can put the miles in if you eat right and stay motivated. But running the same thing, it seems insane to me, and it's almost punishing to the point where I was like, let's try that. So I found a
This
3
sounds
mile
awful.
loop.
Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, Susie, that's what you just did for 26.2 miles over the weekend.
same exact thing. Yeah, you did it on a treadmill.
I guess I'm only 26.2 crazy. He's 100 miles crazy.
There are different levels of crazy in running.
That's right.
I think
Well,
to be a
we're-
runner, everybody's got a certain amount of that. Isn't
I was just gonna say to some people, running a mile or 3 miles
Exactly.
so it's all relative to the person. Like at that 3 miles might be somebody's 100 miler, an accomplishment. So that's why Goku Runner, I saw that was on there that just left and everything. I like what he does. He sets up a lot of virtuals, and it's not made. It isn't tailored to like a specific genre. Like here we're gonna do a 5K. Just do it. Get out there, even if you walk it and stuff. And so I like the way he does stuff like that. But
he's very he's very creative.
yeah, that's actually pretty cool because I know he gets a lot of free stuff. That sounds weird to say. He gets a lot of companies that want him to
get stuff. So.
yeah, they want him to review a product and then give one away. So that's where his free stuff would come. So everybody wins, and then he has to get creative on how to get everybody interactive and involved and stuff like that. So
He's gonna have to give us free. He's gonna have to give you free stuff because you're like talking about him.
right. Yeah, one of the main reasons why I talk about Goku Runner is he is last May or so he did a shout out to smaller YouTubers and stuff that he watches, and he actually mentioned it because of the 50-miler barn loop that I did, and like I was doing YouTube and I was like into it, but my heart and soul wasn't into like social media. I ran and I took like videos and I edited things and I had fun, right? But I got like 20 new people that came over, and one was like Life with Vince Lou and stuff like that. And like there's a couple that were very interactive with me, and man, that flipped the switch. And because of him, like I actually like enjoyed making videos again. So I started putting more time and effort into YouTube, and like I went from, I think I had like 550 subscribers in May to now I'm over the 1,000 mark within a few months, and that's
You went up
because
super quick.
yeah, I was inspired by Goku Runner, so he doesn't have to give me any free stuff because he already did, you know. So just by being kind and the shout out. So
we have
Brian,
to get Goku Runner to do something for Heather and Paul so that they get a bump.
Shouted me out before. Yeah.
Oh,
Brian, I'll tell you
cool.
something. I think you bring up a really good point that, I don't think people, especially those people who watch a lot of YouTube who don't have their own channel, who don't provide their own content, they don't really understand how important it is, at least to me, to get that interaction. Like, you get a comment from somebody, it doesn't matter how small it is, but I mean, it just fuels you. It just keeps you going.
Mm-hmm.
And, like you said, with Goku Runner, just kind of like lighting that fuse for you, or letting,
right.
Yeah.
it's the same thing for me. When I hear something positive from somebody and I comment, it's just like, that can keep me going for days. It's just amazing.
Right. When I reached 1,000 subscribers, the thing that most people, it resonates with most people, is that you get paid when they show ads. But to me, the best feature of all is the community tab.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can actually interact with people without the need of to post a video. You just go there, post, like a question or a thought, and then people can engage with you. So I love that.
Right.
I mean, that's my favorite thing. Like, I wanted to get to 1,000 just to get my community tab. So it takes a while. It's not automatic. They have to review it to actually give you the. I was like, when is my community tab going to be there?
Well, for YouTube in general, I never really concentrated on. Yes and no. I look 1 million times a day at my YouTube studios to see analytics on a video that I posted, and if any new subscribers and stuff like that. But it's for a different reason. I think meeting the 1,000 mark, I think, is just there for street creds, which is cool personally. But like, I don't have the content of 1 million views to where I'm not going to be making millions of dollars off of YouTube. This is just for me to hold myself accountable, because it's a good way to. I look at I don't know if this sounds weird, but I look at my own videos from past years, and not that I get emotional, but like I have an emotional attachment. I remember what I was thinking during that video, like that run that I did the video on, or that race. Like, I remember that. Oh, like, and it really resonates with me. So like, it's a good photo album, the new age photo album. Instead of Polaroids looking through it, I actually have visual memories, which is good because sometimes all my stuff isn't there. So it's good to look back on stuff. So I don't do it for the money, because I'll never have it. It's just more opportunities. Like you said, we have more capability. I could reach more people doing like what I do and what I like. And it makes me want to do more, set my goals even higher now. Like I'm definitely interested in 200 milers and stuff like that. So it's just figuring out how to get that into life, So now the subscriber stuff though is super cool. I want to reach as many people as I can just so they can hear me babble about running. So I have some more people to talk about running with.
Well, that's the thing. It's the same thing for me. If I did not have YouTube as an outlet to talk about running, I've already reached the point where my wife just she just can't stand it. She just walks out of the room as soon as I say the word run. So it's like I have to go on YouTube just to talk to like-minded people.
Right.
Yeah, I told my husband, so Saturday I lost my first toenail. So I told my husband, oh my God, I lost a toenail.
I did it.
And he's like, so like this. So was it worth it? I'm like, absolutely. I would lose all 10 toenails. Like, I would do it.
That's right.
Absolutely. So what is a challenge, guys? What do you have in your mind that you would like to accomplish? Because to me, that, for example, I would love to do like the 7 marathons on 7 continents. I would love to be able to do that, like set like in 1 year or something like that. If I had the money, which is obviously not sitting around. There's no piles of dollars in my corner. So,
Right.
but if I had, that's the one thing that I would love to do. Just pick just the most exotic race marathon in Asia and just, run one in Asia, Antarctica. I don't know, go to Brazil and run in Rio de Janeiro or something. It's gotta be so cool just to sit down and make a calendar, like say, okay, which one am I gonna pick? That's something that I would love to do.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I wouldn't be opposed to that either.
Oh my God. Okay, cool.
Yeah, if money was no object, I'd do exactly the same thing, Susie. But
I agree.
Speaking, the things that I absolutely do want to run, that I will actively make plans to do, and spend the money, whether I've got the money or not. I definitely want to do Boston. I want to do New York, and I want to do Big Sur. Those are the ones that I can't die without accomplishing. So,
I hope I can do New York this year. I would. Oh my God, I have a bib, but I already received an email from the New York Roadrunner saying that they were going to give me an option to pick in between 2021, 2022, and 2023. But I would love to do it this year. It would just be. But so in my mind, I was thinking if I don't get a bib, then maybe I can volunteer to run with the, because that's something I would love to do as well. So if I don't get my spot right now, I will run with one of those with Achilles International, where you actually help, someone who can't see well or is completely blind just to run with them the marathon. So I want to do both. So, which one is going to come first? I guess it's not going to depend on me, because when I was growing up, that was my nightmare, that I was going to wake up one day and not be able to see. That was I was always afraid that I was not going to be able to see. So, that's something I would love to do, help someone accomplish their dream of running New York City Marathon. And Achilles International is so active at the New York Marathon. So hopefully, I can again help someone accomplish their dream. So
yeah, volunteering, doing whatever you can at a race, almost as good as the race, if not, well, in a different experience. I've run at aid stations before, and I've paced people, and I've been a sweeper a couple times. And
I would love to pace someone. I would just, even in a local race, I would love to be a pacer. Like I could do a 2:30 half marathon, without, like, I could do a 2:30. Like, you need to be able to run much faster. So the 2:30 would be no issue for me. And well, no issue. I mean, it would be an effort.
I just want to do the Abbott majors.
You want to do the Abbott majors? Oh, that's something that I'm not. So I don't know why. Like,
what is that? I don't know what that is.
The six
Yeah, the big
majors.
6 marathons. There's Boston, Chicago, New York, Berlin, London, and Tokyo.
That sounds awesome. I'm not a marathon runner. I would run every one of those because the experience would be insane. That's why when you said that, I was
I've
like,
been to London before and I've been to Berlin before, but I have always wanted to go to Tokyo and I haven't been there yet.
Oh, Tokyo's crazy. I've been there. My husband and I went on our honeymoon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's like out of, you're like in another planet. Yeah, it's
That's
so
so cool.
cool. Yeah.
yeah, I
So-
would like to run those bigger marathons. Susie, have you done the Marine Corps marathon?
I have, yeah. That was my
Yeah.
first
That was your
marathon,
first
actually.
one? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I've had a few friends that have run that, and they said that giant party, and there are a million people everywhere. I'm sure things are a little bit different now because of pandemic, but marathons are the ones that I've run were like big, but not like that big. Not 10,000 people. It was like a couple hundred people. Under 1,000 and so. But everybody's aligned on the streets and cheering, and like there's motivation around almost every corner, and like marathons are really cool. I just hate running fast. Like I don't want to feel like I'm dying that early in my day.
You would rather
feel
die
like
doing
dying
50
later.
loops.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's why ultras are a lot different, because there's been like a few 100Ks and 100 milers that I might have been by myself for 6 to 8 hours, and the only people you see are at aid stations. To the point where even if you're at night and you're alone for that long, like, am I on the right path? I haven't seen anybody. Like, what's going on? And you're not with it to begin with, because you're tired. You're
I would be scared to death because I have no sense of direction as it is.
Me neither.
I'll tell you
So-
what, Heather, it's funny because, Brian, you're talking about going out and you don't see anybody for 6 or 8 hours. My trail running experience, I go out on easy days occasionally and run the 6 mile loop in my local park, and it's heavily wooded and I see nobody. And it only takes to go through that 5 or 6 mile loop, depending on my mood and stuff, it'll take me like, an hour, say. And the entire time after I'm in like 1 mile and I know like I'm a good distance from any other human being, the only thing that runs through my head for the entire rest of the time until I get back to the break in the trees where the entrance and the exit is, oh God, I just hope I don't break my ankle. Oh God, I hope I don't get lost and anybody sees me again. Am I done yet? Am I out yet? And then, oh, thank God. So I can be 6 to 8 hours by myself.
I would just be worried that the zombie apocalypse started while I was out there and I didn't know it. So.
Oh, I would be afraid of bears. Like, I don't know
Bears.
why. That's my, yeah.
Susie,
Like, I would be thinking, is there a bear around?
But the last marathon I got to run in 2019, in October of 2019, is a mountain marathon. It's not a trail run, but it's like on unpaved roads. And mile 23, there was a bear.
Oh,
They actually, I've got pictures of it. They actually had to have like a guy who was with the race pull his truck up and shoot into the air just to scare him away, because it was like we didn't want to get any runners eaten.
Right.
Well, Susie, I know that you've interviewed people who have run at the North Pole and said that they have somebody and their only job is to watch for polar bears.
Yeah, and they just shoot, up on the air so that to scare them away.
Yeah.
I've seen bear a few separate times. Snakes and things like that. 99.9% of the time, they don't want to bother with you as much as you don't want to bother with them. So like 99% of the time, you still have to be safe and do the right thing, unless they're right there and something's wrong. But not that I'm running close to them. I can see them. I just run and talk to them, just like I do with any other animal. Hey, how's it going? I'm just running through here. Nothing to see here. Please stay there. And
Please
I keep
go
on
about
going.
your business. Nothing to see.
Right. But North Pole, Antarctica, things like that, those bears are probably a little bit different. They probably, when they see meat, they want to get it.
Thinking,
So
"Ooh,
like,
Probably.
yeah, and in our area, in like Pennsylvania and stuff, the only thing I would be afraid of is with cubs and stuff like that. So like,
Right.
I don't want to aggravate a mother, but other than that, it's just they don't want to bother you. They just as much as you want to stay away from them. So you just, hey, how's it going?
I saw
Keep on
a
moving.
coyote once, and I didn't have my camera on, so then
Right.
nobody believed me. It was like, it can't be a coyote, and I was like, no, it was right there. It was a coyote. I know what
Right.
they look like.
Right.
Yeah. So
I get sensitive.
have you ever seen any animals on your runs, Heather?
There is a running and biking trail that kind of goes through a sort of wooded area, but not really. It's maintained by the city. It's paved road and everything. I see snakes out there. I've seen deer run like about 10 feet in front of me before. I was running one time and a skunk came out of the woods and
Oh my God.
it was carrying a baby, and the dude bro in front of me decided that he was going to try and chase it off the path, and I'm like, I'm going to go this way. Good luck. So, because this will not end well. But, nothing that could potentially eat me. So,
I don't know if a coyote, I mean, I've never had experience, but I was running and then I looked like this and I said, oh, a coyote. And then it went faster. So but it was a coyote. It's
Yeah,
They're everywhere now. Absolutely
it
everywhere.
was very surprising.
yeah, most animals should be pretty chill. I wouldn't be afraid of most animals. I'm more afraid of like dogs and stuff on people's property
Oh yeah.
because most of them they're doing their job as a
Right.
dog. They're protecting their land and their people, and most of them, 99% of them, will run up to their property line because they know where their property is, and they'll be like just aggressive saying, "Don't cross this line," and
Right.
just like, and you could just be like, "Hey, how's it going? Chill, you're doing your job. I understand." But then there are some that actually come off of the property line, and I'm more afraid of dogs than pretty much any other animal out there, besides maybe snakes, because I run through brush at time, and if I get bit by some type of snake that I can't identify or see, and I'm in the middle of nowhere and things get bad, then things could get bad. But dogs are like probably the things that I worry about more than bear but a cougar. Now, if there's giant cats, I would be afraid of them because they'll hunt you. Bear and
that's
stuff.
why you learn to run with a sword.
Sword. I don't know what people would think if I was running with the sword through the woods.
Taking a weird turn.
Maybe I'll carry like a buckler shield with me as well.
Up over your head, samurai style,
Yeah.
Well, he was making a mention to Lord of the Rings, so that you run with the sword and the shield.
And my axe.
That would be a pretty heavy running with something like that for 100 miles.
Like so look at this. Is this true? Mr. Germson is saying, I ran with cougars. Where do you run with them?
Right there.
Because I thought he was in Singapore. I might be wrong about this, because I think he mentioned once he lives in Singapore. So it's,
Yeah, go Kiwi. I could see how that would be a problem. Yeah.
A naked girl ran in front of me about a year ago. Where did she go? Like, well
where did her clothes go? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many questions there. I just keep going.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, because
that goes
back come in handy.
It's like you see some crazy stuff out on the trail.
Yeah.
But no,
I would act like nothing happened. How's it going? Are you okay?
You okay? Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Great day. If everything's all right, man, I'm all right. No worries.
There's actually a running club here that's called, in my neck of the woods, that's called the Naked Running Guy Club. And it's a friend of mine actually, and he's the naked running guy because he only runs with shorts, even in the middle of the winter with snow and everything. So
Oh,
and
Singapore cougars are friendly. All right. I never knew that.
Oh, really? Yes. So he's in Singapore.
I
Oh, wow.
learned something.
Yeah. I believe you, but I do not want to test the theory.
Me neither. I think I'm going to take a pass.
Right.
So another question that I had, and this is something that people who are on the chat, actually, we have 10 people right now.
Hi, people.
They can actually take their pick. Who would you like to run with? Either famous or I would love to run with Kara Goucher.
Mm-hmm.
I just think she has the coolest personality. I just adore her.
Courtney Darwalter, I think.
Oh wow, that great answer. Yeah. I think I would love to run 1 mile with Eliud Kipchoge just so I could see him disappear.
Oh well, that's another one.
And there he goes.
Be within 50 feet of him for probably about 50 feet.
Well, the idea is, since you are since you're just dreaming, they would stick around with you, because I can't run with Kara Goucher. She's much.
It would have to be my
me.
day, his easy day, and that's about the only way that could happen.
You can on those backyard ultras, because a lot of those big name people like Courtney and all them on those backyard ultras, it's every hour on the hour. Mm-hmm. So if you run
last man standing,
if you run that loop in 40 minutes or 59 minutes, you still start that next loop on the hour. So everybody, it's done for a reason, because middle back of the pack me could run with Courtney for 32 hours. We're equals then. It's
right.
It's to the point of the mind breaking. That's where it's in a different type of elite class then. So you really can run with your superheroes if they run in a category like that. So that's what makes those type of races very unique.
Right.
So,
yeah. Another person I would love to run with is, I interviewed her for my podcast, Emma Roca. I would love to run with her.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that could actually happen because she's from Spain. So when I go, yeah, that could at some point.
She seems really, really cool.
Oh, she's an amazing. She's a rock star, and she's so famous in Spain. I mean, she's done everything for, like, there's a lot of women who run trails who, they admire Emma Roca. She and Killian Jordan, Jornet, they grew up together. So they're from the same little town in Catalonia. Yeah.
Oh,
really?
What are the odds? Yeah.
Huh.
Like they ran together. They went to the same high school. Yeah.
That's so cool, Brian. I was going to mention Killian's name to you earlier when you were talking about running 1 billion laps on the track. Did you see? It was like a month ago. He tried to do that 100-miler around the track.
No, I did not see that.
Oh, he didn't finish it, but
he didn't finish it. No, he had medical problems. They had to run him to the hospital. I didn't actually follow the whole story, so I don't know what happened. But it must have been something pretty major.
I think he was like 78 laps in, something like that, and that was the end of that.
I mean, that's one of those, crazy goals that. And talking about that, do you have anything in your mind that if you had if you could do it, something you would like to really challenge yourselves and do? Like if you had, for me, for example, I would love to go up the Everest, go all the way up to the Everest. That's something that I know I'm never going to do it because I don't think I have the strength, but that sounds super, super cool.
And especially after hearing about the Everest marathon, that just sounds so cool.
Yeah.
You have to be, like a friend of mine, someone I interviewed for my podcast, she did the Everest Marathon, and then a week later she did oh Lord, I'm drawing a blank. That other race in South Africa,
In
that's
South
a trail
Africa.
run. Someone help us on the chat. Like, what's that race?
What was it called?
There's an up and a down every year. It takes one
Yeah,
year's
1 year's
up, the
up.
next year's down, and it's a different distance. One of them is 52 miles. I think the other one is 48 or something. So she did Everest Marathon and then this other one, Comrades Marathon. Yes. So she did them within like 2 weeks. Like, yeah, you have to be in really good shape to do any of those. I mean, it's just like a crazy.
Right.
Yeah, but if I had to pick one, I think I would do Everest, just because I don't know.
Yeah, I would. My big races would be UTMB or
Oh yeah,
or Western States. I think somebody mentioned
Western
that earlier
States, yeah.
for
Yeah,
Paul.
I was saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If,
No,
if
but you.
I possessed the ability to go for 100 miles, I would want to do Western States.
Yeah, I would. The UTMB, I'm sure, once again with COVID being a lot different, but the start of that looks magical, and then few thousand people and everybody just like clapping, and like the energy level looks so insane, and it looks like what a marathon would look like, but for almost 100 miles, to where there's thousands of people in different parts, getting up, because it's a festival, through 3 countries, and no matter where you're turning, there's excitement going on. And now the last time they did it, they had runners on the trail streaming live with gear, like on bikes and stuff, and they were able to GPS everybody. Like it was turning into like a real event for 100 miles. So, and you're able to log in on Facebook or YouTube, and at certain checkpoints. So if you had a friend or somebody that was in there, and their bib and where they are, you could look at that checkpoint and see them cross, like videos
Oh, that's
of it.
cool.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
UTMB is like New York City Marathon, because in terms of these spectators, there's people I've heard all along. I mean, there's always people cheering on you. Like, people go out like with the little kids, like in these little villages that it goes through, and they're just like at different points, and they're just people who just are picnicking there and seeing people run.
Yeah, it's a party.
I know this
Trail-
might sound kind of silly, but I know on my race bucket list is the Disneyland Paris half marathon.
Oh, that's a good one to have.
I would do that.
I have friends in England that are like, if you come over here and do that, we'll come run with you. So
That's so
that'd
cool.
be so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
But I love Disney races, so
that's
Oh,
awesome.
I would love to do like the
Great.
full, the 5K, 10K half marathon, like the full Disney,
the Dopey Challenge.
the Dobie
Yeah.
Challenge. Yes, I would love to do it. just
Dopey
because, and you don't have to run it fast, because there's
Yeah.
characters and everything. You're taking pictures. It's like, okay,
You just have to
right.
maintain
just for
a
fun.
16-minute mile, and that's all you got to do.
Oh, that's
Which,
cool.
if you're making a lot of stops, if you're taking all the pictures with the characters.
I know a lot
Yeah.
of runners that go for their personal worst on that race, because they're like,
Right?
not
You
even
go,
gonna try.
you go
I'm
for
not
the
gonna
experience.
try. Yeah, you got to get
Well-
your picture taken with Cinderella. That's the whole point.
Right.
That's so-
In Marine Corps Marathon, they actually give an award to the last runner that crosses the finish line.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they give them like a special, like the cameras are there, and yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
That's
a
a
lot
big
really
thing.
cool.
I've
lot of-
always felt like the people at the end deserve just as much cheering and accolades as the elites that come through at the very beginning.
I'm glad
And
you
I
said that.
love when marathons give appreciation to the people at the back of the pack.
Yeah, a lot of ultras, they do that. It's a DFL award. It's
Mhm.
dead effing last.
Yeah.
And a lot of, especially if you're running, like a lot of 100K cutoffs are 19 hours and stuff like that. So like when there might be somebody that beats it with less than a minute left, and crosses as the last person. That's where the award goes to,
Right.
It's different being top 3 and then there's everybody else, and it's the back of the packers that are the true heroes. They're out there they're getting
For
their money's worth.
hours.
Yeah,
Right.
they're getting the full thing. There was it was actually World's End 2 or 3 years ago. A friend of mine, she got to the last aid station. She DNF'd, I think, 3 separate times on that course. And she got to the last aid station and her shoe totally ripped from the front. So her foot came through. So they duct taped it. And it was real muddy, like ankle deep mud, like for the whole course. And they duct tape her shoe, and she made it with like a few minutes to spare. And I have photos of her sitting there eating soup, and her shoe is actually duct taped. Like it shows like a big wad of duct tape, because she's like, I'll run barefoot, basically, like I will. And it's the people at the end, I think, that, getting through the pain and torture of the whole
It's that
time.
fighting spirit that they're just not going to give up, and I think that deserves so much.
Yeah, and I think that's a good recognition. Yeah.
Reto is saying with Run Free and Strong, I would love to do UTMB, but it's almost impossible to get in between the qualifying points and the lottery. There's a shorter one. There's like CCC, and there's like, like not the full one. There's a shorter. I have a friend who actually qualified for the shorter.
But I believe it's
like
almost similar, though. It's almost similar, though, with points.
Brian, I want to ask you and anybody else who knows the answer to this, because I know the race that I is like you're saying, Susie, something that's like your dream race, not necessarily realistic, but something if I got the chance to do it, if I could ever get in, I'd do it just cause. What's the name of the race, the ultra race across Death Valley?
Badwater 135.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Just every account I've read of that race, it just seems so
ridiculous.
You don't make it across that valley without like leaving your logical mind. So I think that could be something that could be a whole heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, I follow Sally McRae, the yellow runner. She would be one of the people that I would like to run with, like that ginger runner type crew with like Billy Yang and Sally McRae and all them. She runs that often, and that stuff. I've seen photos of people's shoes melting on the road and stuff like that. So like that's another different level of extreme. Being able to run distance up a mountain takes a lot of like determination and skill and motivation and things like that. But to put yourself through other type of torture, like the heat, like I know most of my races are in the summertime, and I deal with like stomach issues because I'm overheating. It's usually like 90 degrees out. You're running for hours up a mountain, and I have to lay in streams and stuff like that, because when you start bonking, it's similar to a marathon. Why am I doing this? I don't want to move any further, making up excuses, and you have to figure out and readapt on how to eat, how to take in hydration, try not to throw up, or throw up because you have to, and move on.
To keep going, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So like, and a lot of it comes from heat, because it's hard to train in that, and then that day just might be overwhelming to the body. And so I could only imagine running in 100-degree weather for the whole like 135 miles, even at night when you're sleeping. Some people run at night and try to sleep during the day to alleviate some of the heat issues, but still, even at night, it's still 100 degrees out,
Oh yeah. It's funny. When I was training for my last marathon summer of 2019, I did a lot of, when I was doing like double runs, like running twice a day. My first run for the day, I would actually leave work at lunchtime and run. My first run was like an 8-miler, and I'd do that every day at work. in the dead of summer, and it was always, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, so it's like 98 degrees and above for all the summer, and I always did surprisingly well. Like I couldn't, like everybody would like look at my times and go, and you did that 98 degrees, and I was like, yeah. For some reason, the heat didn't get me, so that's why I'm thinking Badwater, maybe.
And there's probably, to me, it's not the heat. I'm going to say something really obvious. It's the humidity.
It's the humidity.
When I run in Madrid is super hot. Madrid in the summer, when I go visit my family, it could be 100, I'm not kidding, 118 degrees. I mean, but it's like 3% humidity. So you when you're sweating, it just evaporates, and you're not as hot as I am here in 95 and 90% humidity. So
here we get in the summer like around 90 to 95 degrees, and then with the humidity that shoots it up to about 115. So it's pretty miserable.
I just find the when you can't really evaporate your heat.
Yeah.
Because it gets like stuck on your skin.
Anywhere. Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. It's
have to microwave your body and your brain.
I would rather, this is a good question. Let me ask you this. Would you rather run in the heat or in the cold? I'd much rather do cold.
I hate both of them.
An equal opportunity.
I would be miserable either way.
I would rather do cold. Yes. Yeah.
It's funny.
You run with more stuff. That's it.
Well,
I don't like the cold.
That's what I hate about it. I love running in the heat. I don't love running in the heat. I can tolerate running in the heat, but the reason I hate running in the cold is because too much laundry. It's just way too much laundry.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
Layers and layers of clothes.
But for men, running in the heat is not the same as for women, because women have to wear the bra and you chafe everywhere. It's like the whole thing is like, yeah. So it's just so unpleasant.
And then you think you got the sports bra that doesn't chafe, and then you get in the shower afterwards and you were completely wrong.
It's just really,
the pain is real.
It's miserable.
On the opposite end, I do have chafing in other areas that you don't.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
And when you take a shower, it hurts really bad as well. So I'm just letting you know that you have your own set of problems, and so do the males.
I'm gonna ask a question that I actually had written down. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have the opportunity to ask this, but I'm gonna ask it. Commando, yes or no?
Oh no, I wear. Yeah, I wear.
Okay. What about you, Paul?
If I don't wear compression underwear, what Brian was saying, the pain is unbelievable when I get back.
Yes.
So
oh. See, I go Commando. Even in the wintertime. Yeah.
I learned something else today.
You try it. Let me tell you this. Just try it. If you try it, okay. You never go back.
I don't know if that'll be on the bucket list, but I know when I first started running, I wore regular like t-shirts, like regular cotton shirts, and I went through a few storms, and my nipples almost bled to where
I bet.
I told my wife, and she made fun of me, and she told my mother-in-law, which made fun of me. And for my next birthday, my mother-in-law bought me like Reebok and Nike, like really like hardcore name brand, like running gear, because I didn't have any. And she's like, here you go. And she made me booby tassels as a joke. And she goes, if the shirts don't work, you can wear these. And I was like, okay, thank you. They were paying attention, and like, it was a good time. But no,
the only one time I ran a race with my brother, we were getting ready to get out of the house because I was staying at my parents. We were getting ready to get out of the house, and he's like, "Oh, I almost forgot. I need to put Vaseline in my nipples." I was like, "Is that a thing?" Like, I was like, "Do I have to do that too?" Like, it was my first race ever. So
I was like, things I didn't expect to hear today.
Yeah, I was like, Does
That's
this happen?
That's the title
Yeah.
of your next podcast.
Yeah.
Vaseline on my nipples.
Well, apparently it's good for men, for women don't need it. So,
Not too much.
but it caught me completely like, do I have to do that too? Like, I haven't read about this anywhere. Like,
I just came to run a race. No one said anything about Vaseline.
yeah, I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I
If you're in the
actually.
middle of a race and you feel that pain, you know you're dead when it's over. Oh yeah.
No,
Oh,
I have that
Lord.
as part of my my gear. I have a big jar of Vaseline, and I have like medical tape and stuff like that. I have like a small emergency extra socks and stuff in my pack because
Yep.
if you're on the trail and
Yeah.
you know you might have to tape something, blisters or change stuff out. But the Vaseline is more for race time because
Right.
of chafing because at times you know and you have it labeled so nobody else touches it because it goes in areas that you don't want anybody else touching either. So
Right,
And,
right.
My house, there's the family use Vaseline, and then there's my runner Vaseline.
right. So everybody knows.
This is my treasure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've been here an hour and 11 minutes. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time. Doing pretty good. Do you want to go round table again and wrap things up? Is that what we're getting at?
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Right.
Before
So-
my power
I
goes
know
out.
I am missing battle bots right now for you guys. So
you
feels
you
special.
go. I actually have to watch BattleBots because I haven't yet. So I'm curious
they're
about it.
They're down to the final 16 tonight. So
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
good time.
I'm gonna have to check them out. So Brian, you can go first because you went first.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap up on my end. Please, once again, ultra runner, a little bit different than the marathon distance. If you want to hit me up on YouTube, Instagram, things like that. And I do everything for suicide prevention. So I have links on all my sites there to help a brother out, basically. And I have a series on YouTube right now for my 100K training that's going on as well. Usually Friday nights at 8 o'clock or so, 8 to 10 o'clock that I drop it. That's about it on my end. Thank you, everybody. Super awesome time here, especially with different types of runners, because you guys are talking different things, and I'm like, what is that? That's super awesome. But yeah.
Very
Cool.
nice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Paul.
Cool. All right. So, I run the DevRunner channel on YouTube. Basically, I cover everything from my personal training, and I try to pass on all the things that I learn that are positive, and I definitely share everything that I do that's wrong, so that everybody who's watching can learn my mistakes instead of doing it the hard way. And beyond training and that kind of advice, I do the occasional shoe review or just equipment review that runners might be interested in. I do a lot of interviews with other runners and other people who are in the running community, especially people who are my subscribers. I think, Brian, I hope to get you on my channel soon. Susie and Heather have already been on there, but yeah, I mean, there's a whole backlog of great stuff on there, and I hope everybody checks it out. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm the DevRunner on there. You can find me as Paul DeVillo on Strava, and I'm on Twitter, but I don't use Twitter. I guess that about covers it for me. I hope everybody goes and checks out my backlog of videos and hopefully subscribes, and that's about it for me.
And the links to all the channels are in the description box below already. So I put them in there when I created the live stream. Thank you, Paul. Your turn, Heather.
Okay, well, if you haven't checked out my channel, I do a lot of videos that are meant to help out a lot of beginning and novice runners because I know I had a lot of questions and confusion when I first started, and I made a bunch of mistakes. So I'm trying to help people out that way. I also do a lot of stuff about my own training. Coming up, I have a series going on with 5K time trial, so be on the lookout for that. And other than that, you can find me under the name Running Geek Girl on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on all of those various times throughout the day, so you can find me there.
Thank you, Heather. And I am Susie. I run things. I have a YouTube channel, a podcast. The podcast season 2 is coming up soon. The podcast is about adventures. You know, I always interview runners that have done something crazy, such as the 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days, or ran the Everest Marathon and then back-to-back Comrades Marathon. So that's the kind of runners that I interview on my podcast. And on my YouTube channel, I'm just vlogging my journey as I try to qualify for Boston. And I do publish certain videos with information, reviews on products, or some other topical things that might concern runners. So thanks everybody who joined. We had a great turnout. We love reading your comments. I hope you guys have fun.
Next month, it'll be on my channel.
Yes, Heather is hosting this way. Heather is hosting next time. First Thursday in April at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hope to see you there.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. Watch out for cougars.
Watch out for cougars.
Stay away from the bears
And snakes.
and snakes.
There you go.